It's locked, all right. Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after people. Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally open to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked. It's locked. These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
side, Dr. Reed. I know that...
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are...
I need blood, Doc.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
I'll leave you, Mr.
A giant morgue disguised as a hospital. That's... nowadays.
Oh, no, we can handle this.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye. How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Goodbye for now.
So many deaths. And what of my own life?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening. Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Would you...
No.
You...
Wife
Who are you?
is...
Tell me... You haven't...
Wife it.
I'll leave you. Good evening.
Evening.
Goodbye for now.
Damn.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, Doctor.
And good evening.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Goodbye, Doc.
I'm quite bit.
Thank you for...
Come now, we can handle this.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time.
Yes,
with me.
Doctor?
That's all for now. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat?
So painful,
I'm sure you realize a doctor...
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's...
Yes, maybe.
How...
So
I'll let you get...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me...
Good evening.
I'm okay.
Tell me about...
I don't want...
I have to go...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, madam.
It's my son who needs...
I'm Dr. John...
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Good...
What can you tell...
Not much to say.
May I ask...
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more...
Are you really that rich?
Yes, thanks to my husband.
What do you think of...
I have had the uttermost reservations about this.
Is there something in particular that...
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke...
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse...
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic.
She charged you?
Yes, and I paid...
I share your concern, Mrs. Scott.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would...
Goodbye.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Yes, Doctor?
That's all. Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed.
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick.
Tell me about you.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his...
I was more curious...
I'm a carpenter. And a good one, too.
Tell me about the...
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured.
I won't lie.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed?
In other circumstances, you would be... Tell me about your injury, Harvey.
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself.
How could your job be responsible for your wife? Steph.
I was working a double. She went out to...
You can't hold yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But
Tell me more about the death of your wife.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Poor little bleeders.
How are your children?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is...
Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton.
That's quite a blunt...
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I...
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to...
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. Any...
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
How is this?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's
So what do you do exactly?
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Since you're on the...
It's a complete disaster. You see?
It sounds like...
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped.
You left an infected patient.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor.
Are you really smart?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang...
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to...
Why do you have such a mediocre...
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was...
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me...
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all...
I'm sorry, I don't know...
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look...
Goodbye, Milton.
flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
So many deaths. And what of my...
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Nassau.
I wish I could be sick again. I'd fall over with fever. Never again. It is the last thing our patients need.
Good evening.
Dr. Reed.
And why?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more...
Do you ever think about that?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget.
That man was
What a surprise. The first time I met him.
What did he want?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor Art.
Only the strongest survive, then?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed.
How is your...
This is a shitty place with shitty stuff.
What's wrong?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton.
I see.
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy...
What's wrong?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
What's wrong?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place...
But you're alive, thanks to the...
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession.
How is your hospital? How long do you think you can...
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully.
The police may be slow.
Well, how come you didn't turn me in then? Nah, Doc, I figure you have something to hide so you can't ask the coppers for help.
How
on
the
well, how come you did?
I'll leave. Good evening.
Dr. Rick.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about him.
He was my patient.
What was the name?
It was a twofold error.
Who was
I don't know.
Why not?
Are you mad? I killed that man.
Goodbye.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End. We are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Naz.
It's here again.
Good evening.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague.
A colleague?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a...
Please show me.
Of course. Good evening.
Are you afraid?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death.
How did you get...
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a...
Have we met?
I don't think so.
When we first talked, you said...
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body.
Do you work here?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue would...
Why do you...
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely.
Why close?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the...
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even safe. Diseases can spread. For the customers?
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been...
What kind?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy.
Since you're not afraid of dying.
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive.
Do you think you would enjoy it?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Do
you really?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And
quite depressing.
Yes, but the good news is...
So you're
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a fool.
Goodbye.
Finally, you've returned.
Yes, nurse. Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the...
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye. Good evening.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may.
You are not a burden, sir.
And you have my...
Why did your mother have you hospitalized?
My mother just wants the best for me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I cannot...
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look...
It's not me, you have to...
How...
So painful.
I have to go...
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
I wonder why the Cosmics came here in the first place.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to...
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town,
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality?
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have some...
Very well. I have a task for you.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to...
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit.
Accepted. I'll see what...
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up against... soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You seem surprised. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp... The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally.
Apologies.
The pleasure is mine.
I hope you're more disposed.
You must have countless questions, but
Have any of the...
These poor souls have...
The world would be a better place.
You make me blush.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but...
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your...
I'm a scientist. My trade is...
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove...
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be...
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy.
What are your
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so...
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal...
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic...
Please continue.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it.
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drop.
I'll meet that woman.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did.
If I had not covered up his error...
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concern.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
I can't say I approve of what you...
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the...
Have you heard rumors of...
No, Doctor.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett.
I'm so glad you share my point of view.
I hope you're right.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Goodbye, Nan.
Hey!
Have you heard of...
Blackmail?
I'll leave.
Jesus. I've never seen so many people dying at the same time.
What?
There's no need for alarm, madam.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say?
Dr. Swansea is quite busy.
How brave. Threatening an old...
Harriet Jones. Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse.
I heard there have been some...
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd...
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than...
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes, just waiting for me to...
I assure you, madam, this is not an...
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching stuff.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof...
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear...
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've... The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.